If you received notification of a state tax audit today, would you know what to do about it? A simple mistake could cost your business thousands of dollars. I'm Monika Miles.
And I'm Bill Lowe.
And we're Miles Consulting Group. And today we're going to talk to you about everything you need to know about a state tax audit. So you open the mailbox and you get that notice from a state Department of Revenue that you're being audited. What does that mean?
Well, what that means is that the state wants to come in and review your books and records for sales and use tax, typically underpayments. They are there to look for overpayments technically, but they're really coming in to look for underpayments for the most part.
So how are companies selected for audit? I mean, people ask me this all the time, and I say, it's a combination of things in the state tax side. One thing that triggers an audit or can possibly trigger an audit is that you file a lot of amendments. So you're in and out and you're always filing returns and making corrections on them. So that's kind of a trigger for sure.
Other times it's just literally a routine audit. You are audited every 3 years and they come back like clockwork every 3 years.
Sometimes it's because your customer gets audited. So you're a business operating in a state and the state audits your customer and they see that you've been a supplier and they wonder, how come this company's not filing in this state? So you might get an audit notice because of that.
Other times they are looking at your deductions that you're taking on your returns. They're seeing that they're fluctuating, they're going up and down from year to year, and they're wondering why. And so they'd like to come in and take a look and see what's causing those fluctuations and whether or not possibly you owe some taxes on those prior years.
And then there's always whistleblowers too. We see that occasionally too, but that's probably less frequent. There's a number of downsides in being audited, of course. The first one is certainly disruption to your business, right? You're doing your normal course of business and now you have an auditor sitting in your conference room wanting to look at all your books and records. Secondly, an audit may come with some surprises that you're not aware of. So sometimes companies have done some analysis themselves and they know what their audit risks might be or some skeletons in their closet, but not always. Sometimes it's a real surprise.
Yeah, you may come into the audit with an expected level of risk, maybe even identified some of your areas, some of those skeletons, and without proper preparation and doing the research in advance, you may come out of that audit with even higher assessments than you assumed that you were going to have going into it.
So how do you respond to an audit when you get that first notice? First off, that initial notice is generally going to introduce you to the auditor, tell you when the audit's going to start, and you want to respond to that. I always tell people, don't ignore that one because it starts the relationship with the auditor, and you do want to build some rapport with the auditor.
Although that initial letter tends to be what I call the kitchen sink letter, they're asking for everything. They want all your sales invoices, all your general ledger entries. They want purchase invoices. They want everything. It's the kitchen sink letter.
It is, but you don't have to always give them everything. And that's where it's good to know how much you can push back. You want to be respectful for sure in an audit, but yeah, you don't have to provide every single thing they ask for. And you might be able to negotiate away some of those and say, well, listen, I can give you X instead of Y and really kind of work with them. And that's where it's sometimes really nice to have somebody in the middle.
Yeah, and I would say that initial letter is your first chance to start the rapport with the auditor and the Department of Revenue. And that's where we've got a lot of experience in dealing with those auditors in our past. And we even have former auditors on our staff.
There are certain things that they're definitely going to want to see. And in the sales tax perspective, they're going to want to take a look at exemption certificates. They're certainly going to do a sample of some of that. So we always recommend that our clients have their documentation in order before the audit starts and before the auditor starts coming in and looking at things. You don't want any surprises.
One of the audit approaches that an auditor may propose is statistical sampling. And we've had a lot of experience with clients over the years where they don't know exactly what they're signing up for. They don't understand their records and their data, and they sign up for an approach that may not be representative of their business operations and the reporting methodology that they use over the years. So we're a second set of eyes on that. We bring expertise to the table in statistical sampling. We have former auditors on our staff that are there to help you through the process. They've been through the process in the past and are very comfortable dealing with state auditors.
The key in any state tax audit is to get through it really as quickly as possible. The auditor wants to get it done, the company wants to get it done, but you want to get it done so that you pay as little as possible in assessments. And that's really where we can come in. We can assist with the whole process, kind of front to back. We work with the client. We're a buffer in between the auditor and the client in a lot of cases.
Yeah. And if we're involved in the process, the state of California has a managed audit program that gives direct benefit to the client. There's a 50% interest reduction if you are eligible for that managed audit program. And we've had a lot of success in the past dealing with that.
Yeah, we've had several clients that have benefited from the managed audit program.
Our main piece of advice is to get a tax professional involved as early as possible in the process. If you need any help, please contact us.